Hi, everyone. Welcome to Our Disabled Future, a series where disabled voices lead the way. I'm your host, Nico, and it is a good day for disability inclusion. Each day during Disability Pride Month and beyond, I'm amplifying real disabled stories, where we are, where we want to go, and how the heck we're going to get there. Together, I think. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Tass. Let's dive in. Hi, Tass. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So tell us about yourself and about your disabled life.
My name is Tass. I am a autistic, ADHD, deaf, all of the above, tons of stuff, artist and advocate. And part of my disabled life, a lot of my disabilities are invisible. So it comes with an extra layer of barriers in a lot of circumstances because of that. Being autistic and having cognitive processing delays and alexithymia creates a lot of social barriers for me as well in personal and professional settings, as well as the ADHD. I always describe my brain as a train full of like a billion people. The train never stops and everyone talks at the same time. So it can be a lot. And last, well, it's 2025 now. So end of 2023, I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease. And I lost my hearing on one side. So I can only hear on one side now. And that has created a lot of new barriers that I hadn't faced yet in my life, as far as things like getting hearing aids and getting services for accessible communication. A lot of times, when you are deaf and you are vocal, people assume you don't actually need things for communication, but I do. So, like, I have like an ASL interpreter if I can, and captions and things. I also have complex post traumatic stress disorder, which comes with a lot of pieces. I was raised in a Christian fundamentalist cult, and I have a lot of religious trauma that just kind of compounded with the other traumatic things in my life that occurred. So I do have agoraphobia. So, right now, as of the date of this interview, I have not left my home in 8 months. I have good times, I have bad times. Right now, I'm going through the bad patch. So, having remote access to things is the only way that I really keep life going in a somewhat, I don't want to say normal because I don't believe in the concept of normal, however, normal capacity. But yeah, so I have a bachelor's in English literature. I'm a nerd, very much so. Give me some anime, some Star Trek. I'm a Whovian, you name it. I'm probably in the fandom. And yeah,
Tass, thank you. That was a very comprehensive picture of everything you've been through and who you are. I appreciate it. What does a disability friendly future look like for you?
I had such a hard time with this question. I really had to think on this one
Sure.
because it was, it's hard to maintain hope with things. So I kind of had to go out of my mindset to think like, what would it look like if I could actively be like a very hopeful person? I think the biggest thing that I think is practical is having remote access in professional settings, having remote access in for medical needs. The only way that I have been able to maintain my mental health services is by telehealth, and my primary care is through telehealth. I'm able to interact with people remotely, do work remotely. So when I see things trying to be taken away for remote access, I think a lot of people don't realize how vital those things are to the disabled community. And so I think a disability friendly future would be remote staying and people accepting that instead of fighting it.
I love this call for remote access. It's definitely a disability issue, but can also benefit many others as well. You give a lot of good arguments for keeping remote access around as a viable and long-standing option. How do we build that disability-friendly future? What's the strategy? What do you think?
I think the biggest thing is something that has always been there is advocating through educating. There is a large number of people that do not follow these types of issues if they haven't experienced it themselves. It doesn't always mean that they aren't a person that would care, though. It just is unfortunately a part of society as a whole, especially American society. People tend to not look outside of themselves unless there's something making them do it. So being willing, even though I have experienced this burnout myself, it can be such an emotional burden to educate people and explain things. But I think it's a big piece of it to where if you are in a capacity that you can, do it as much as you're able to. Because I know that in my lifetime, I probably won't see a lot of things change for the better for the disabled community. Oh boy, didn't expect to get emotional on that one. I won't see it. And so I think that people that will be instilling the values into their children, into their family members, into their communities. That is the only way that that future will ever happen. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest part. You have to educate people, even people that don't want to hear it, but you never know what allies will come out of it.
I love that. Communication leads to collaboration and can make all things, or at least most things, possible. Toss, I've really enjoyed learning your perspective and hearing your story. It's been an honor to work with you on this project. I want to take this last bit of time to give you a chance that you and I, as disabled people, rarely get, and that is a chance to brag about yourself, promote something you've done recently. That's very cool. Or maybe you're working on something right now that's very cool. You could talk about that as well. If you want to build your online presence and you're that kind of person, where can people find you online? But hey, this is a free space, like a monopoly, to brag about yourself and be your own cheerleader. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I'm an artist and I am a surrealist horror artist is where my heart lies, but I also, yes, a lot of horror. I love it. I'm a horror person and a lot of abstract designs. So what I recently did is I did published some books. I didn't like that environment. And I was like, you know what makes me happy is the art I do. So I have now pivoted into a completely new industry of graphic design. So right now, I finally launched my Fiverr doing graphic design. I've done some volunteer projects with some organizations and with some entrepreneurs in the disabled community to create logos and things like that. So that's what I'm doing now. I am doing graphic design and art. So my website is tasktheartist.com and you can find my information and my portfolio there. And you can find me on LinkedIn under Task the Artist and Writer, as well as just my name, Task Crombie. And I would absolutely love to work with some more people in the disabled community. Using my art skills for people in my community are a huge deal for me, and I love creating these beautiful things. I recently got to do a marvelous logo that's on my website, and I also got to do a piece for a disabled screenwriter who has a play that they just had been sending out, and it's a wraith holding a anatomical heart with the trans colors bleeding from it because the play is about the trans experience. And it was an absolutely marvelous piece that I got to create for this screenwriter, which is also on my website. And I just absolutely love it. So, yeah, Anyway, that's me. I do art. Find me online.
And pop some of those links in the video description when I upload this. Tess, thanks again.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, folks, tune in next time. Remember, this is our disabled future. We're building it one day at a time together. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I'm rooting for you, okay? I can't wait to see what you do next. Take care.